Hello and welcome to Reality TV News Update, where you'll find the most recent news, entertaining moments, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. A fan-favorite Big Brother Showmance that turned into a real-life romance is back on fans' feeds, and the latest look at the couple is adorable. America Lopez recently shared a TikTok with Corey Wurtenberger, giving viewers another look at the couple's relationship after they appeared on Big Brother Season 25. As fans reacted to seeing the pair together once more, the video, which shows them on a date night in Boston, gained widespread attention on the internet. Lopez sets the scene in the video about a date night by saying, "Hello y'all, it's date night," as she as Wurtenberger head out for a classic dinner and a movie night. Before heading to the theater, the two watch Project Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling, in a dimly lit restaurant. Lopez claims that this will be her first time seeing a movie in IMAX. After dinner, the couple jokes that they arrived 45 minutes too early, but they head inside for drinks and popcorn. As Wurtenberger double fists a truly hard seltzer and one of the movie theater's signature Project Hail Mary cocktails, he jokes, "I think I might be going to another planet tonight." Additionally, Lopez stealthily extracts candy and snacks she brought from home from the video. America Lopez and Corey Wurtenberger continue relationship after Big Brother 25. Lopez and Wurtenberger first met while competing on Season 25 of Big Brother, which aired in 2023. They initially aligned as allies, but through frequent conversations, their connection grew over time. By week 10, they had defined their relationship as boyfriend and girlfriend, and their bond eventually became romantic. They told each other, "I love you," before Wurtenberger was kicked out later in the season. The couple has continued their relationship outside of the house ever since they left the show, occasionally posting photos from their lives together on social media. AmeriCorey fans react as another look at their life together is shared. Even though the couple has only posted on occasion, many fans were ecstatic to see them together in a more everyday setting in the new video. One fan wrote, "Haven't seen you guys in forever," among other comments, "So excited you're still together." Others praised them for really finding love on Big Brother, calling them the best couple ever. "Love a vlog of a date night," a fan wrote, with an additional comment, "The most recent TikTok post comes just a few weeks after Lopez and Wurtenberger posted videos and pictures from their trip to Paris earlier this month." The competition had passed, the lights had gone out, and the sound of it had faded away, but for one beloved Big Brother Showmance, the real story was just beginning. It seemed almost scripted when fans first saw them meet inside the house. Two strangers from opposite worlds are thrown into a whirlwind of alliances, strategy, and constant surveillance. Shared glances across the kitchen, quiet late-night conversations under the backyard's dim lights, and a growing trust that seemed to defy the chaos around them. Viewers noticed. The internet was abuzz. A showdown was taking place. However, the authenticity, not just the chemistry, was what set their relationship apart. In a game where deception is often the winning move, their bond felt refreshingly real. They were constantly watched inside the house. They were targeted as a couple by other house guests who questioned their loyalty. Every hug and whispered conversation turned out to be a potential problem. There were moments when it seemed like the game might tear them apart. At one point, they even considered distancing themselves strategically, fearing their connection might cost them everything. Nevertheless, they kept coming back to one another. Sometimes it wasn't easy. Arguments flared over game decisions, trust issues, and the stress of being watched 24/7. They were sitting on opposite sides of the living room one particularly tense night, refusing to speak, the silence being stronger than any confrontation. Online, fans debated, was it over? Had they been finally broken by the pressure? But the next morning told a different story. They found each other again in the quiet hours, away from the chaos. Laughter and understanding followed a straightforward conversation. Their bond proved to be strongest in those brief, unguarded moments. They weren't perfect, but they were real. Their relationship had already become one of the most talked about aspects of the season when one of them was kicked out. The farewell was moving, full of promises that went beyond the game and brought tears to my eyes. The audience watched as they clung to one another, confident that whatever transpired next would take place in the real world, free of rivalry and cameras. The real test started at that point as well. Outside the house, reality hit differently. There were no more scheduled competitions or diary room sessions, just everyday life filled with new challenges. They had to deal with distance, careers, and the sudden attention of fans who had been following every move they made. They kept things private for a while. Social media posts were sparse, carefully chosen. Fans speculated incessantly. Were they still together? Did the showdown end after the game? Then, gradually, hints began to emerge. A photo here, a candid shot of them laughing at a cafe, a short video there, a playful moment during a road trip. What many had hoped for was confirmed with each post. Their connection had not only survived, but expanded. The couple gave fans a more in-depth look at their relationship than ever before in a recent update. It lacked flash or excessive production. Instead, it was intimate, as though you were invited into their world. They were shown in a cozy living room at the beginning of the video, far from the bright lights of Big Brother. They openly discussed their journey and the development of their relationship since the show. One of them laughed and said, "We had to relearn each other. Everything inside the house is amplified. It's quieter outside, but in a good way." They also discussed the challenges. The transition had not gone as planned. There were times when their relationship was put to the test in ways that the pressures of real life couldn't. But instead of pulling apart, they leaned in. The other added, "We realized that what we had wasn't just a showmance. It was something real, and that's worth working for." Fans reacted quickly. Comments poured in, filled with support, admiration, and even a few happy tears. Their relationship had evolved into something more than just entertainment. For many viewers, it was something to root for and a reminder that genuine connections can emerge even in the most unlikely of circumstances. The ease with which they communicated in their update stood out. Gone was the tension of gameplay. Inside jokes, shared grins, and the kind of connection that doesn't need constant validation replaced it with a familiar rhythm. They even revisited some of their most memorable moments from the house, laughing at the awkward beginnings and the misunderstandings that once felt so serious. With hindsight, those moments had become part of their story, a foundation rather than a flaw. As the video came to a close, they gave a hint at what would come next. One said, "We're just taking things one step at a time," glancing at the other with a smile that said more than words ever could. "But we're excited about the future." That simple statement was enough to send fans into speculation mode again. Engagement rumors? Going to live together? A new endeavor? Even though they didn't say anything specific, the excitement was clear. For now, though, they seem content right where they are, building something real, away from the pressure of competition, but still connected to the fans who supported them from the very beginning. In a world where reality TV relationships often fade as quickly as they begin, this showmance has proven to be something different. It's not just about the spark that started in front of the cameras, it's about what happens after. And if their latest glimpse is any indication, their story is far from over.
One beloved Big Brother showmance has quietly continued to write a love story that fans can't stop following long after the final eviction night and the confetti had settled. They are finally giving fans a new glimpse into what their relationship truly looks like outside of the house. What began under the intense glare of cameras has evolved into something softer, deeper, and far more real. Their connection inside the Big Brother house seemed to be instantaneous despite its complexity. There was unquestionable spark at the outset. It was evident in the way they gravitated toward one another during group discussions, how they smiled knowingly in stressful situations, and how their late-night conversations frequently lasted until dawn. They were hailed as one of the most genuine showmanships the series had seen in a long time by viewers, who quickly picked up on their chemistry. But unlike many showmances that are fueled purely by proximity or strategy, theirs carried a sense of emotional depth. They opened up to each other about their lives outside the game, their fears, dreams, past heartbreaks, and hopes for the future. They freely shared their trust in a household where trust is scarce. Even so, the game made everything more difficult. The target on their backs grew larger as their bond grew stronger. They were viewed as a perilous duo by other houseguests because they were capable of influencing decisions, winning competitions, and remaining fiercely loyal to one another. The word spreads, alliances shifted. Even their closest allies suggested at times that they keep their distance for the sake of survival. They also tried for a brief time. They sat on opposite sides of the room, pretending not to notice one another, and spoke less on certain days. But the distance felt unnatural, almost painful. They quickly found their way back, choosing connection over strategy, even if it meant putting their game in jeopardy. Fans followed everything that happened. Debates, edits, and emotional reactions erupted on social media. While others warned that their relationship might cost them the game, others supported them as a powerful couple. One thing was certain, regardless of opinion, their story had become central to the season. One of the most moving parts of the show was when they were finally separated on eviction night. Their goodbye felt less like an end and more like a question mark hanging in the air as promises were whispered and tears rolled down their cheeks. Outside of the house, could their connection still function? Fans waited for answers for weeks after the finale. There was at first silence. There were no joint interviews, and there were no clear confirmations, only hints scattered across social media. A shared photo from the same location, a familiar laugh heard in the background of a video. It was insufficient to satisfy curiosity, but enough to stoke speculation. Then, slowly, the picture became clearer. They started showing up together more openly, first in groups and then in more intimate settings. Fans noticed how comfortable they seemed, no longer navigating the pressures of the game, but instead building something at their own pace. Despite this, they chose to keep the more intimate aspects of their relationship out of the public eye and remained relatively quiet. Up to now, in a recent video that quickly went viral among Big Brother fans, the couple offered their most candid look yet at life after the show. The simplicity of the setting, a warm living room with soft lighting and a relaxed atmosphere, was worlds away from the high-stress setting where they first met. There was no script, no dramatic music, just the two of them, sitting side by side, talking honestly. "We get this question all the time," one of them began with a smile. "What's life like now, without the game and the house?" Some fans were surprised by the response. "It's quieter," the other said, "however, in the best way. We are not constantly evaluating everything and looking over our shoulders. We can just be." They discussed the refreshing and challenging transition from reality television's artificial world to everyday life. They had to learn how to connect in a completely different setting because they did not have competitions or strategy sessions to fill their days. One person acknowledged, "We had to relearn each other. Everything in the house is intense. Outside, it's more subtle. You notice different things." There were also difficulties. Their relationship was put to the test in unexpected ways by adjusting to new routines, balancing personal goals, and dealing with the sudden influx of public attention. But those difficulties appeared to strengthen their bond rather than separating them. The other shared, "We've had real conversations, not just about us, but about what we want long term, and that's something we didn't really have space for in the house." The small, honest moments in the video, the way they finished each other's sentences, the comfortable silences, and the occasional playful teasing were especially moving to fans. It lacked polish or performative quality. It felt real. They even went back to some of their favorite parts from the show, laughing about how nervous they were at the beginning and how dramatic some of their arguments now seem.
"I can't believe we fought about that," one said, shaking their head with a grin. "It felt like the end of the world at the time." Both of them laughed as the other responded. Those reflections gave fans a sense of closure, but also a deeper appreciation for how far they've come. As the video continued, the conversation shifted toward the future. While they didn't reveal any major announcements, there were subtle hints that their relationship is continuing to evolve in meaningful ways. "We're taking things step by step. No deadline, no pressure, just focusing on what feels right." Fans deeply appreciated that candor. In a culture where relationships are often rushed or overly publicized, their approach felt refreshing, grounded, intentional, and sincere. By the time the video ended, the response was overwhelming. Comments flooded in from fans expressing support, admiration, and even gratitude. For many, their journey represented something more than just a reality TV romance. It was proof that genuine connections can form in the most unlikely circumstances and continue to grow long after the cameras stop rolling. Their story is so compelling not only because of how it started, but also because of how it is now developing. They have been able to create something real outside of the competitions, alliances, and constant surveillance for themselves, not for the audience. And yet, by sharing these small glimpses, they've invited fans to be part of that journey in a way that feels authentic rather than performative. Their relationship is no longer just a one-season showmance. It's a partnership, one that has weathered pressure, distance, and change, and emerged stronger because of it. If their most recent glimpse is any indication, this chapter of their story is only the beginning.